Hello, and thank you for joining me, Shanny Leigh. I am in the beautiful Alvord Desert in Eastern Oregon, and this is my first travel yoga video, so I'm very excited to film it, to be here. The year is 2020 at the time of this filming, and we are all in quarantine, and as you can see, there's no better way to quarantine than in the middle of nowhere. So, because I drove for about 8 hours yesterday, and to visit the desert, it's a lot of driving, this flow will be about just stretching it out after you've been sitting and traveling for a while. So thank you for joining me, and we'll get started standing on our mats at the top end. So I invite you to find your way to the top of your mat. Find a gentle stance, maybe feet about hip distance apart here. Slight tuck of the tailbone, belly is still engaged. Your hands can be just beside you, or sometimes I like to interlace my fingers. And I currently, at the time of filming this, live on the western side of the state of Oregon, which is very wet and rainy and cold right now. It is the end of November, so to feel the sunshine on my face is really nice. But wherever you're at, whether you're inside, outside, traveling, not, just take a moment here to feel a little grounded, a little centered. Maybe you lift your toes and spread them out wider and place them firmly on the mat again. Drawing attention to your breath, maybe for the first time today. Maybe if you like that ujjayi breath, you can, this nice sound of the ocean waves. Although I'm in a desert, this used to be a lake bed, not an ocean, but still a calming sound. Let's just take one more round of breath here. And exhale, side out. If your hands are clasped, maybe you gently release them. Maybe you start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe you start to move your neck a little bit. Maybe you just start to kind of sway. Eyes can still be closed or open. Just since this is for after traveling, if you have been sitting all day. Starting with our feet here. And then slowly find your way back to center. Let's just take one more round of breath here. Exhale, side out, eyes can stay closed or maybe begin to flutter them open. And we'll start with some nice big arm circles. Inhale, arms sweep up to the front, out and back, maybe a slight back bend, aka opening the chest, and bring them back down. Exhale, twice more. Inhale, lift nice and slow. Maybe you start to look up, exhale down. Last time, this direction, inhale. And exhale. Now we'll take it the other direction. Big inhale, lift the arms up, nice big stretch. And bring them down. Twice more. Just getting into the shoulders here. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your hands come back down. Take some now just shoulder rolls, a couple times in each direction. One more round of breath. And then inhale, arms lift up again, big stretch. And this time take your hands to your sacrum, fingers pointing out. And then give yourself a big push forward, stretching out your hip flexors, which is this right here. If you've been sitting, they've been crunched or flexed all day. One more round of breath. And then keep your hands where they are. You can adjust them if you need to help yourself fold, hinge forward. A couple more times. Inhale, big push out. And exhale, hinge from the waist, bow down. Starting to get into the hamstrings. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Hang out here. Maybe you clasp your hands behind your back. If you want to start to get into the shoulders and lift them up over your head, you can. Otherwise, just have your hands hang down to the floor. Soft bend in the knees. Getting into the hamstrings here primarily. One more round of breath. Exhale, side out. Let your hands fall back to the mat if they're not already, and then roll it up. Inhale, arms reach up into the sky, and then right hand grabs left wrist and stretch it over. Inhale, bring it through center, and exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale up, and now we'll fold forward, swan dive down, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, bow it back down again, and we'll rise up and repeat that little lateral extension stretch. Inhale, lift, right hand to left wrist, stretch. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and exhale down. Rising up, inhale, grab the wrist, stretch it to the right, exhale. Last time here, inhale, and exhale to the left. Inhale, lift, and last fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, bow it back down. Rise all the way up, inhale, big breath. And exhale, hands can come heart center or down by your side. One more moment here, hoping you start to feel a little more warm. And now we'll do 3 vinyasas to warm it up. Inhale, big stretch up again, maybe slight back bend. Exhale, bow towards the earth. Find that halfway lift, nice flat back. Now bend your knees, plant your hands, and you can step or jump your way towards the back of the mat. Hang out here in plank just for 1 moment. Exhale, side out. And then inhale, shift your weight forward, maybe lower all the way or halfway down. Untuck the toes, shine your chest forward in either upward facing dog with your knees off the mat or cobra with your knees on the mat. And we'll take it to downward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the belly in as you shoot the hips up and back. Take a nice big stretch here. Also great for the hamstrings right now. Feeling the sun on my back. Probably haven't felt that in a few months. Let's do 1 more round of breath here. Exhale, side out. Inhale, begin to lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, and step, exhale, or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, bow. Rise all the way up, inhale, big stretch. And exhale, hands heart center. Now we'll do that 2 more times, nice and fluid without stopping. Inhale, lift, exhale, fold. Flat back and plank. Inhale, weight goes forward. Exhale, chaturanga, or all the way to the floor. Breathe in as you shine your chest. Breathe out as you lift your hips. Prep on an inhale, bend and exhale, step or hop. Halfway lift, inhale. Bow forward, Uttanasana, exhale. Rise all the way up and then go directly back down, exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay here. Let's take 1 more round of breath. And then exhale, bend your knees, set them to the mat, and you can keep your toes tucked or untuck them. Exhale, rising into Vajrasana, heels and hips meet. Take a second again, maybe you stretch your toes out. My feet tend to swell when I travel, so that might be painful. Otherwise, you can just sit it on down. Take a moment here. Breathe it out. And inhale, arms lift up, big stretch. And now we'll twist towards the right. Exhale, left hand comes to the right knee. Keep everything nice and straight, nice and tucked in so you're not arching or folding to reach, right? If you can't touch the mat, just have your hand on your hip. Opening up the upper back here. 1 more round of breath. And then inhale, bring it back through center and take it to the other side. Exhale. One more round of breath here. Inhale, lift. And now clasp your hands. Exhale, bring them behind your head. Inhale, open the elbows. Not so much the low back, it'll arch a bit, but opening the shoulders and the elbows here. And now exhale, bring your elbows in. Twice more. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Last one, inhale, really open the elbows, draw the shoulder blades together, and then bring the elbows in, hang out here. Get a nice neck stretch, maybe you kind of look side to side. One more round of breath. Start to find center Slowly inhale, arms lift up again, and we'll take it to tabletop hail. Take a moment here. Maybe you start to sway it out a little bit. Maybe you do some hip circles. Whatever feels good. One more round of breath. And then find stillness, and we'll do some cows and cats. Inhale, drop the belly, shine the chest forward, get a nice big stretch in your cow pose. And exhale, tuck everything in cat pose. Inhale, Pithilasana. Exhale, Marjariasana. Once more, inhale. Keep pushing the earth actively away. Exhale, tucking the chin and tailbone. Inhale, come nice and flat again. Walk your hands slightly in. Weight in the left hand. Inhale, right arm opens up. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. And now we'll weave our right hand underneath the left and off towards the left as we drop our right shoulder and ear to the mat. Thread the needle pose. Use the expansion of your lungs here to help the stretch. And your left hand can stay where it's at. You can tiptoe it forward or tip finger it forward. That's not really a word, but to get more into the lat. Or you can wrap it behind your back and find a bind. Whichever one you prefer. If you are doing this lat stretch, make sure you're not caving your chest in, but still actively opening. One more round of breath. And exhale, bring your hand back towards your face and slowly inhale, lift up. And we'll take that to the other side. Right hand plants right underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, left arm opens. Take that stretch. And then exhale, thread the needle on the other side. Again, right hand can stay. It can bind behind or it can tiptoe forward. Why do we have tiptoe and not tip finger? Philosophical question of the day. This is a beautiful view with the mountains and the snow. I always love the desert in the winter because the desert you think of like something nice and warm, right? And sunny. And I love the juxtaposition with the mountains and the snow. One more round of breath here. And exhale, bring your hand back by your head and lift it up, inhale. If you're not traveling, try to live vicariously through this video. Shake it out. One more round of breath, and then we'll get back onto our feet. Exhale, begin to tuck the toes. Inhale the breath, and we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. Exhale, lift it up. Shift the hips back. So here you want a straight back more than straight legs. So you're trying to ease your ears by your biceps. So if that means you need to bend your knees, it's okay. You can keep walking your dog here, or you can stay nice and flat and straight. Let's do one more round of breath. Really get our hamstrings nice and stretched out. Exhale, side up. Ground down in the left foot. Inhale, right leg lifts and open the knee, bending it so that your right foot drops by your left glute. Try to stay square in the shoulders, three-legged dog here. So your left heel is reaching for the mat as your right knee is reaching for the sky. One more round of breath. And then we'll touch our right knee to outside of our right elbow. As you're ready, exhale, begin to shift your weight forward into a plank. Touch your knee outside of your elbow and bring it back to your scorpion-legged, three-legged dog. Twice more. Exhale. Nice and slow and control here. Inhale. And exhale. Hold here, hovering the knee. And then we'll step our foot outside of our right hand. Exhale, coming into lizard pose. Adjust as needed. So your hands are inside of your right foot. Getting a nice big stretch here. So if you need to drop your back knee, you can. If you want to come onto the outside of your front foot to open up your hip a little more, you can. You can also be on your elbows. Whatever feels good to you. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath here. Last round of breath. Exhale, side out. Begin to plant the hands on the mat. Left hand stays where it is, right arm opens, nice big stretch. One more round of breath, and then as if someone's pulling us up from our right hand, we're going to lift and revolve. So if you need to move your feet so you feel a little more stable, do so, and then ground down in the front foot. Inhale, lift it up, and then drop your right hand back towards your left leg as your left arm comes up. Revolved, reverse lunge here. Take one more round of breath. And then slowly with control, bring your hands back towards the earth. This time, right hand plants inside of the right foot. Turn your back heel back and down 90 degrees so your toes face the long edge of your mat. And now open your left arm. Nice big stretch here. One more round of breath, and then that same idea. Someone's pulling you up with your left hand. Ground down in your back foot, your front heel. Inhale, lift it up. Warrior two. So your front knee is still bent and moving out, it's not caving in. And you're grounding down with the outer edge of your back foot. And now gaze over your front fingers. Let's take one more round of breath here. Exhale, side out. Now on your next inhale, begin to straighten your front leg. And then inhale, exhale, reach it forward and drop your hand to your shin as you lift your left arm into the sky for triangle pose, Trikonasana. So here you can have your hand on your shin, you can have it behind you, you can have it in front of you, hanging, you can touch the floor wherever you're at. And if you want to intensify the side stretch, drop your top arm overhead. If you want to do some core work, you can float your bottom arm or send both out, just depending on what you want to do today. For one more round of breath. Exhale, side out. And then using your core strength, inhale, lift back up into your T-arms, bend back in to your right leg, gaze over your front hands. One more round of breath here in Virabhadrasana 2. And exhale, hands to the mat. Find your way to plank and move through your vinyasa flow. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. And now, we'll do that all on the other side. So ground down in your right foot, inhale, left leg lifts, and then bend your knee so you open your hip. Just really working on the hamstrings, the hips, and the shoulders today. One more round of breath here. And then we'll bring our knee to outside of our elbow. Exhale, bring it up. And inhale, take it back. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale, hold here. One more round of breath. And then step your foot outside of your left hand and settle into lizard pose. So again, options to be lifted, to drop your back knee, to be on the outer edge of your foot, opening up your hip a bit, or to be on your elbows, whichever one serves you. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. Let's take 1 more round of breath. Exhale, side out. Slowly come back onto your hands. If you aren't, right hand stays, left arm opens up, take that twist. 2 more rounds of breath. And we will be moving towards that lunge again, so if you need to adjust something in your legs, you can. 1 more round of breath here. And then really ground down in the front heel. Begin to lift up as if someone's pulling you from your left arm as it drops back towards your back leg, and your other arm reaches up into the sky. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Maybe you smile. And slowly exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. And now the left hand stays on the inside of the left foot. Turn your right heel back and down and extend your right arm into the sky. What a beautiful view. I hope you live vicariously through me. Anytime I see these yoga videos, inhale, lift up into warrior 2. exhale in like Guatemala or Costa Rica. I'm like, oh, I want to go. Finding warrior two, ground down in the outer edge of your back foot, gazing over your front fingers, keeping everything nice and tucked. The sun feels very good. If you're wondering, there's snow, isn't she cold? The sun is very warm. So at night, yes, it's freezing and I have all of my layers on. One more round of breath and then straighten that front leg. Exhale, reach it forward and inhale, drop your hand. Right now it feels very good in the sun. Finding triangle Trikonasana pose. Maybe you gaze up, maybe you gaze down. Kind of actually weird to gaze up and just see the big expanse of blue. Like it definitely throws my balance off more than like staring at a ceiling. One more round of breath here. Oh, again, actually you can lift, you can drop. So one more round. Now maybe you drop your hand, maybe you extend, maybe you lift. 2 more rounds of breath. Get a nice big stretch. This is the last round of breath here in triangle pose. We'll bring it back up to our warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Gaze over your front fingers. One more round of breath. And then we'll take it back to plank. Exhale and move through your vinyasa flow. Shine your chest forward. And exhale, lift the hips. Push them back, downward facing dog. So we've got 2 more flows and then we'll bring it back to our feet. So nice and short and sweet here today. One more round of breath. Exhale, side out. Ground down on the left foot again. Right leg lifts up, open, scorpion leg your dog. Maybe you take some circles here if you want. Whatever feels good. One more round of breath. And now we're going to flip our dog. If you know you can just flip right into it, go there. Otherwise, take it to a plank and then step your top foot behind. Come into the weight on your left hand and open your chest to the sky. So next turn, I'll do it from downward facing dog. This is just if you want to get into wild thing from plank. If that's all a lot, you can drop your bottom knee and just open the chest. Let's do 2 more rounds of breath here. One more round of breath. And then with control, we'll meet back in our downward facing dog, 3-legged dog, really. Leg up. Give you 1 more round of breath so we can all meet here. And now we'll be touching our knee to right behind our right elbow. So exhale, shift it forward, and now your knee touches right behind and open it back. Exhale and inhale and exhale, and now hold it here, and now move your foot off towards the left and bring it back. Twice more. Move it to the left, take it back, move it towards the left, and then drop it down and extend or settle into your pigeon pose. Nice big breath here. If this doesn't serve you, you can be seated, left foot on the mat, right ankle crossed over your left knee. Let's take 1 more round of breath here. Exhale, side out. And now you can stay up. If you want to do the full, you can grab. If you want to get more into the quads with either your left or your right hand, or you can fold your chest over. We'll do that for 5 more rounds of breath. Whichever one serves you. You can also do a little bit in one and a little bit in the other. Let's do 2 more rounds of breath here. One more round of breath. Remember to smile. Whatever you have, slowly return to your pigeon, and I will do that on the other side. Plant your hands. We'll take it back to our 3-legged dog. Left toes ground firmly into the mat as you lift it back. 1 more round of breath here, and then drop both feet to the mat. We'll take a little vinyasa, undulate your body forward, inhale, find a plank, and then find your chaturanga, and upward facing dog, or cobra. And we'll take it back, downward facing dog, and now do that on the other side. Right foot stays, left leg lifts and opens. Again, maybe you take some hip circles here. I should say knee circles to get into the hip. One more round of breath and we'll meet back in three-legged dog. And now I'll flip from wild thing right here, or to wild thing. If you want to move back into the plank and do it, you can. Otherwise, just flip your dog around and shine your chest open. Oh, that beautiful, beautiful sun. Nice strong arm, big open chest. Keep pushing the hips high. You got this. And with control, bring it back to your three-legged dog. We'll all meet here, one round of breath. And then knee to right behind the left elbow, exhale. You can be in tabletop doing this too. Exhale, number 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, now hold here. Swing your foot towards the right, and then back. Towards the right, and then back, keep pushing away. Towards the right, and then drop it and settle into your version of pigeon pose. If you need to adjust on your mat, you can. Take a second to stay up tall here, even if you can fold right on over. It's just a different stretch. This is more in the hip flexors. And yes, I'm probably going to be sunburnt after this, even with sunscreen on. I'm sure you're thinking of that too. One more round here, and then you can either fold it right on down or find the grab. We'll be here for 6 rounds of breath. Just really getting into the hips. Again, you can do 50-50, 3 rounds in one and then 3 rounds in the other. I am wearing sunscreen though, if you're wondering. Maybe you're not. Maybe it's just like TMI, Shannon. I just want to focus and stretch. Let's do one more round of breath here. Ooh, big stretch. And wherever you're at, let your hands come back to the mat, or you can come into tabletop if you're on your seat. And we'll bring it back to three-legged dog. Inhale. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do a vinyasa, undulate it forward. And maybe hold chaturanga if you want. Open your chest. And bring it back. So we've just got one more little flow before we start to wind it down. Take a big breath here. Exhale, side out. Left foot stays, right leg lifts, open. And now maybe you guessed it, we'll be bringing our knee to our left elbow. Exhale, bring it underneath and take it back. I want you to really feel that crunch. Exhale, actively push away and inhale. Exhale. Now maybe you hold here, maybe you turn onto your back foot, and maybe you extend your leg out for fallen triangle. You can stay here. You can even hover your bottom foot if you want. You don't have to. Just do one more round of breath. And then if your foot is lifted, take it down. And now just sit your hips right on down. Yes, you'll be funky on your mat. That's okay. Big inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, reach for your feet. If you want to widen this wide angle pose, you can. I'm just gonna stay right here. Fold it forward. Take one more round of breath there. Slowly roll the spine up and take your right knee, this might look like my left to you, and bring it in to the leg that is probably on the mat. Inhale, lift it up. And now take that same hand and reach for your extended leg. Revolve Janu Shirsasana pose. You can bring your hand behind your head if you want. This is great if you do have a block. You can rest both hands on the block. If it's available, you can bring your knee to the mat. That helps me sometimes guide my knee out. It likes to tuck in. If you have the flexibility, maybe your top hand is grabbing your foot without caving your chest forward, right? This isn't it. You want the chest nice and open. Just take one more round of breath here. And then slowly bring it back up. And we'll take it back to the fallen triangle. Extend your leg back out. Inhale, arms lift up. Begin to twist your torso back towards your mat. And then lift it back into kind of like a twisted plank. And then bring that knee in and extend it out, three-legged dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. One vinyasa to break it up. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. I just want to go a little more sun. And we'll meet there. Adho Mukha Svanasana. One round of breath. And then let's take it to the other side. Lift the left leg. Hold here. Keep the chest square. Breath. And you guessed it, left knee to right elbow, exhale. You can also have your knee on the mat for this. Inhale, open. Exhale, really crunch. Inhale. Exhale, crunch. And now again, come onto your bottom back foot, I should say. And open into fallen triangle on the other side. Again, option is to hover the bottom leg if you want a little extra. Wherever you're at, 2 more rounds of breath. 1 more round of breath. If your foot is lifted, sit it down. Come onto your heels and sit everything down. Nice big stretch out here. Again, you can widen your legs even more if you want. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. And fold. If there's a lot of knee pain as well, you can take fists. Whenever you're stretching your legs on the ground, you can take your fist. If you don't have a blanket or a block to put under you can take your fist, and that helps you from locking it out and relieve some of the pressure. So that's another option too. 1 more round of breath here. And then roll it up. Bring your other foot in, my left foot into your right leg. Arms lift, and then take your same hand as the extended leg and stretch it over. So I've seen some people with the flexibility without caving their chest. I'm caving my chest right now. You can tell because I have to go forward. Bring both hands. Again, yoga is not about, oh, I just want to grab it with both fingers and hands. It's about the alignment and what feels good in your body, right? We want to be stretching out this muscle right here. So if you're feeling that, even if you're here, that's great. You don't need to be as far as I am. I don't need to be as far as my yoga teacher was. What feels good for you? Let's just do a couple more rounds of breath here. Last round of breath. And then slowly bring the torso up. Bring the leg back out. We'll make it back to our plank. Inhale, arms reach. Twist towards your left, hands plant. Find your way into your plank, and then three-legged dog. And then downward facing dog. Last vinyasa here. Inhale, undulate forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Maybe you hold. Just for funsies, it's the last one. Keep your elbows in. Untuck your toes, shine your chest. Lift your pelvis off the mat. Hold here again. Nice big stretch. And downward facing dog. Use your core. Pull it back. Big exhale. Release something, let something go. Let's do another one. Big stretch out. 1 more round of breath here. And then inhale, begin to lift the heels so you have room to bend your knees, gaze forward, step or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, nice flat back. Bow it back down. Rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, inhale. And hands come heart center, exhale. Take a moment. Ground down again in your feet. Shoulders melt away from ears. And if you actually are doing this while traveling, give thanks for the fact that you have the privilege to travel. I know right now it's a huge privilege that I can take a few days and just come out here, just take pictures, do yoga, and just be, just write, just read, just be creative. So if you are traveling, I hope you feel a little more stretched out after a long viaje, long trip. If not, I hope you are living vicariously through this beautiful, beautiful place. I love it, it's gorgeous. And yes, just thank you for joining me on this trip and letting me be a part of your yoga journey. The light in me loves and honors the light in all of you. Namaste.